We're off in search of a national treasure, that elusive little critter, the Tasmanian devil. It's the shy, cheeky one with the big teeth, bad temper, and appalling table manners. It's also facing a very uncertain future, ravaged by a cruel and incurable cancer. But don't despair yet. There has been a breakthrough. Scientists have discovered some animals are actually immune to the disease. And there's a devoted band of devil worshippers, determined to save them from extinction. Among them, Charles Wooley, a Tasmanian born and bred, raised on spooky tales of little devils and their evil doings on dark and stormy nights.
The spectacular beauty of the Tasmanian wilderness. Its dramatic mountains and deep valleys shelter ancient and mysterious forests. It's a hard and uncompromising land where only the fittest survive. And out here, this was the greatest survivor of all. The Tasmanian devil, the world's largest marsupial carnivore. A noisy, argumentative, bone-crunching, fearsome little package about the size of a terrier dog. But now it might be headed for oblivion.
This is our icon and we know what's going on. We're quite clear that there's a serious decline and it's clearly due to this horrible cancer. And we've got all hands to the pump.
A new and deadly strain of infectious cancer is wiping out this Tasmanian mascot, already more than half are gone. It's cruel and disfiguring, and there's no cure. For those trying to save the devil, like zoologist Claire Hawkins, it becomes personal and distressing.
Poor bugger, I mean, that is so horrendous.
Yeah, I think it's good if people can see, but it's pretty upsetting, isn't it?
It's the devil facial tumour disease, and it's certainly confronting. These gruesome cancers develop on the face and are spread every time the devils bite each other. Scientists think it started more than a decade ago, a genetic mutation of unknown origin. Whatever the cause, the outbreak has been rapid and widespread.
It must be very rare for a new disease like this to occur in any species.
We know of one other species that gets a disease like this transmissible cancer. Yes, it is an extremely unusual thing to occur.
Here we go to the devil's den.
The devil's den.
The plastic glove's going to give me much protection. It was protecting them against me.
Yeah, it's a hygiene aspect.
So you're next.
Within another 10 years, this may be the only way to see a Tasmanian devil in wildlife parks like this one.
Tap me on the leg to let me know.
Preserving a population of captive, healthy devils with even healthier appetites.
It's got a fine set of gnashes there.
You eat straight through the food.
Andrew Kelly is maintaining a population of disease-free devils at his wildlife park in northern Tasmania. It's a Noah's Ark of sorts, and short-term, the best hope for the species.
But that's the sound I heard at night as a kid in bed.
A banshee.
All you did was hear them. Yeah. You say your advice in here is keep moving, otherwise they'll think you're food.
That's it. If you stay still long enough, they think you're food. Just keep moving.
I like
that. In the high country around Cradle Mountain, another captive population of healthy devils play in the snow. But for Andrew Kelly, the important thing is to find them healthy and in the wild. So he's been setting traps in this remote country to assess the spread of the disease. He speculates that for now at least, the wild mountain ramparts of Western Tasmania have proven a barrier to the infection.
It's very quiet. Have we got one in here?
We've got one in here, you can feel it. There's one in there. It's as quiet as.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. A little healthy 2-year-old.
How come it's not going yet?
It's timid. They're a very timid creature. I wouldn't advise putting my hand in their mouth, but...
I won't do it then. And in good health, apparently? No tumours or anything like that?
The good news is the disease has not spread through here over the last 2 years.
No animal symbolises a Tasmanian wilderness quite like the devil, but they also serve us well environmentally as nature's undertakers. And they've done a valuable job of keeping out feral species like foxes and cats. Yet many locals still see them as a sheep and chicken killing pest.
Regardless of this disease, devils still suffer persecution and have a very bad reputation amongst a lot of Tasmanians. They don't respect this animal enough.
Of course, you love these animals.
I do, they're Tasmania. They're the spirit of our place.
The Tasmanian devil population is just a small marooned remnant of a much larger population once widespread throughout Australia. Consequently, they have a shallow gene pool. They are genetically so closely related that any disease that can kill one can, in time, kill all. So their best hope of survival now lies in a protected breeding program and in the hope that some diversity can be discovered and encouraged. Fortunately, they are prolific and enthusiastic breeders. Tell me about the sex life of the devil.
Well, I think, the male really does kind of exert a certain maleness over the females.
Does he really, caveman-like, drag the female into the cave?
It does look a little bit like that, yeah.
Part of the biology that fascinates me is they can produce something like 28 embryos, all of whom try to make that perilous journey from the birth canal to the pouch, and only 4 make the journey. I mean, that's rigorous selection of the fittest, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Only
absolutely.
the toughest.
How's she interacting now?
The fight to save the devil has been a depressing one, but at last there's a faint glimmer of hope. The chance discovery of a single devil with a genetic immunity to the disease. A possible saviour who's been dubbed Cedric.
OK, we'll just grab these samples, you know, this is part of your routine management.
Professor Greg Woods, an immunologist who normally treats cancer in humans, made the breakthrough.
The amazing thing is, it's different territory for you blokes. I mean, you deal in human cancer.
We deal in human cancer, but interestingly, the tests we do in human cancer is exactly the same.
Then came more good news. While we were at his Hobart laboratory, Professor Woods discovered Cedric was not alone. Another devil showed the same immunity response. Together, they could form the beginnings of a genetic breeding program for disease-resistant devils.
So would that be the next stage, to breed from devils with an immune response?
We can breed some animals that have the potential to produce an immune response to this tumour.
The search is on for other animals like Cedric, and perhaps they're to be found here on the wild coastal farm of Joe King.
So where the hell are we? Right on as far west as you can get, really, with some of the cleanest air in the world blowing over us.
This land on Tasmania's rugged west coast has been held by Joe's family for 4 generations, but now he's signed it over to nature and to give the devil his due.
What an amazing place. It must be one of the wildest places on earth.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And the windiest.
No, but it's great when you get down in these sort of conditions.
And you've made it over to nature, or nature's taken it back.
Oh, no, I've put covenants on the property so that it now will be protected into time.
The Tasmanian devil is rarely seen in the wild, and if you want an intimate glimpse of one of nature's most elusive creatures, Joe King is the man to see. But first, you must invite the devil.
We've got a bit of roadkill here, Charlie. Yeah. This is our dinner invitation. They've got an incredible sense of smell. That'll be something that makes them interested in coming to where we are.
It's all a matter of sitting and waiting, and while the night closes in and the wind roars around the shack, it's time to tell tall Tasmanian tales, dark stories of people who died in the bush and whose bodies were never found.
And the story that scared me when I was a kid about the missing preacher, that he got eaten by the devil, this is possible?
He could have been. His bones would have been scattered in concentric circles around where he died.
As they pulled him apart?
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's been plenty of suicides investigated in the bush where exactly that sort of situation's happened. You find a man hung and his legs are missing.
Turn up the lights.
after patient waiting, finally, not the zoo animals you normally get to see, but fair dinkum wild Tassie devils materialise out of the dark.
He knows we're here, doesn't he?
No, I don't think so. You know, we're hidden away from him. He can't smell us and he can't hear us.
I tell you what, the scent should be getting outside.
We could have devils everywhere. Can you see anything?
They're doing very nicely.
Excellent.
Not many people get to sup with the devil and tell the tale.
Do the other farmers say, oh, Joe King's finally flipped, he's allowed his farm to go to the devil?
Sure, it may have seemed like a crazy idea at the time, but as time's gone by, more and more people are seeing that there's a value in wildlife.
It may already be too late to save the devil. The fate of this little animal looks grim. The numbers are low, nobody knows how low. They are impossible to count, but it must be nearing that critical level where a species goes extinct in the wild. But the worst will only happen despite the best efforts of the devil's advocates.
I would never have expected to have developed a loyalty or a love, a passion for this animal from my background, and yet that's what's happened.
This is in some ways the embodiment of Tasmania, this feisty, characterful beast. If nothing else, even if we don't get it right, that the devil may be the first to sort it out.
Each has their own personality. The devils that we're working with our research, we know them by name, which is not very scientific, but you get very attached to them. They each have their own uniqueness, and they're not ugly at all. They're beautiful. They're beautiful, Charles.
Hello, I'm Tom Steinfort. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au, as well as the 9Now app.